Hey everyone, Matt here on another edition of Ask Ron. Ron, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I was supposed to be on a cruise, but my airline's canceled and I couldn't make it.
Love it when that happens, huh?
Yeah. By the way, if you're planning on flying on United, if I were you, I'd rethink it.
It's probably good advice.
They flew me to Newark, New Jersey on my way to Quebec City, Canada. Canceled the first night, canceled the second day, and couldn't get me on the third day.
Oh man, what a nightmare.
And that's a first class passenger, I might add.
Oh man, gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, well, Ron, I'm glad you were able to make it with us here today. We have a few questions, so we'll go ahead and jump right into them.
Shoot.
First two are from Tony and Angie Stewart, who are in Ohio.
Hey, Tony and Angie. I just left them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We just posted their firsthand testimonial about how the live quick start compares to the virtual event. So if you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead on Ron's social media and check it out.
I haven't seen them yet. Think you can get them to me?
Oh yeah. Hey, I'll send them to you right now.
All right. Do that.
All right. Tony and Angie's first question is, Ron, thank you so much for your quick start. We are in action of applying all we learned. Outside of your hometown, how do you determine where to hold your events?
I have never been asked that question before. The answer is we got to go to the big cities, and I try to spread them out. The live events I'm talking about, I try to spread them out around the country. Obviously, I'm going to be heavily weighted on the eastern half of the country because that's where we're at. And truthfully, the airfare and the hotels are getting so expensive. We have to, try to. We're doing one in Vegas in February, but I'm working on that schedule right now. But frankly, Nikki and I jointly pick them as the answer to your question. So if you've got any suggestions, you can fire them at me.
There we go. All right.
This couple sat in the front row the whole time.
Mm-hmm. They were engaged.
A lot of questions. Yeah,
that's for sure. All right. The next question is, when a seller has a low equity mortgage loan with required PMI, how do we handle this in terms of making payments to the lender? Do we then pay the bank a payment which includes principal, interest, and the PMI amount?
You have no choice but to pay the bank the same amount that the sellers are paying the bank. You don't get to change any of that. Besides, the bank won't even talk to you. So you have to make the same payment. That simply means you're going to collect more than that in rent and keep the spread. It's really just a pass-through. You don't have to worry about paying taxes or paying insurance. The bank does that for you, but it is part of their payment, and the PMI is part of their payment. You can't change it until it gets to about 80% or so. Even then, you can't get the bank to reduce the payment. The sellers have to do it. So you might want to get a letter from the sellers at closing to the bank without a date on it that they can sign requesting a reduction on that payment when you're closing. And I don't know when the 80% will happen, but it'll be in your file, and you can send it in at that time for them. Check with your attorney on that.
Perfect. There you go, Tony and Angie. Moving on to the next three questions. They're from Robert up in Oregon. Robert says, hello, Ron. Do you have any future plans to develop more ways for us Gold Club members to earn more Gold Club points each day?
Well, the way you get points is pay your dues, and then the more time you spend on the site, you get points for that. We also give away points when we're selling things like masters and mentoring and other things from time to time, and pretty large chunks of points at that time. But that's the only way I know. Do you know any other way to get points?
Just stay vigilant on the Gold Club, make, comments, valuable comments, each day, log in each day. Robert, I've seen you on there on the Gold Club. I'm pretty sure you're utilizing that as much as you can. All right. Robert's next question is, Ron, I know of an elderly woman who I've casually talked to about buying her fourplex, then leasing it to another real estate investor. Do you think this is a good idea if she decides to agree to that kind of deal with me?
Well, Robert, I don't know why you would ask if the seller would agree. If you buy her property, she has nothing to say about it. You don't need her permission to do anything. You can grow marijuana in there if you want. It's your property, man. So, as far as leasing it out to, yeah, if you can, what that's called a master lease, you lease it out to one person who's going to live there. Probably, I could lease it to another investor, but if you're going to lease it to an investor, you got to leave them plenty of room to want to mess with it on the cash flow. But quite often, easier to lease it to one person who wants to live there, and let her lease out the other, or him lease out the other three, and maybe cover their own rent in the process. Will certainly take a big dent out of it. But still, you got to leave them enough in it to make them want to. It's all about the math. Okay, you want to get a monthly spread, but you just do the math and see if you would consider doing that if you were that person moving into that property. It's actually a good way to get free rent, really.
Perfect.
You can advertise it like that, and you also advertise it to investors.
Moving on to Robert's last question. He says, I have not yet posted a photo of myself because I am concerned about your organization renting or selling out my name and profile information to other real estate advertisers or general advertisers. I don't want them to have a picture of me at all, along with my personal information. How safe and secure is my information with your organization?
Well, first of all, we don't rent or sell our list. However, you are dealing with the internet, and I can't possibly tell you how safe it is because it's on the internet. But if you don't want to put your picture up, I mean, I don't care. I doubt anybody else does either. I understand that, but I don't know why would anybody want your picture?
Yeah. Put a picture of your favorite football team or your pet cat. That doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter if you don't want to put it up there. Don't worry about it. But as far as we're concerned, our sites are secure as a site can be. But the world of hackers out there today, I can't promise you whether it's safe or not, to be honest, and I wouldn't.
Yep. All right, that was the last question from Robert. Moving on to the next one. We have Lacie in Texas.
Hey, Lacie.
Lacie says, I never have any luck getting subject to leads from my Gold Club leads. What is the criteria that your VAs use that works so well?
Well, Lacie, by that question, I can tell you have not been to the Quick Start School, which you should actually put on your list to get to quickly. Pretty much the last half of the first day is all about generating leads and a whole bunch of sources to generate them from, and have other people generate them for you. And we make it very clear that the Gold Club leads are the lowest common denominator because they're people listing their house online. First of all, we can't reach more than 50% of them after 3 tries, and about half of those turn into property information sheets because a lot of the ones we do reach are listed or sold. So you're always better off generating your own leads, which we call quality leads, people calling you, sellers calling you. There's a lot of ways to do that, which I certainly can't answer on this Q&A today. Do we actually have a course on that, don't I? Yeah, I did. We just did a generating quality leads course, right, which you can get from our office, 3 days of that stuff. Now, here's what you get with that course. First course I did, I interviewed the students and found out what they were using, and then throw a bunch of my stuff in there as well. But on the second course, I actually interviewed the lead providers, the ones who we pay to get leads for us, which I can tell you all of my students that are doing any volume at all are getting others to generate the leads for them and pay them for the leads, assuming you can put the money into the marketing column. If you can't, you just got to generate your own. But Gold Club leads are not meant to be the best quality leads. However, saying that, I just did a boot camp at Columbus, and I'm trying to think how many. I think we got 6 deals, and they were all Gold Club leads, and there were only 75 of them brought to class.
Wow.
So do the math on that. 75 total leads, all of them Gold Club. Okay. To their defense, it's their boot camp. They really haven't been trained on how to generate quality leads prior to getting there, which I'm trying to fix here now, going forward. But 75 total leads, 6 deals. Now I don't know if those deals are going to go through. Depends on whether they got a mentor or not, and got the mentor to help them follow through with them or not. But they were 6 negotiated terms deals. I think they were all terms out of those leads. And incidentally, we only got a hold of about 35 of those leads. So you do the math. Now, on the other side of that coin, we had our mentors doing all the calling. Okay, so we had professional people that are good on the phone to do the calling. So take out of that whatever you want to take out of it, but you're always going to be better off getting quality leads generated by others or generating yourself. I mean, can you run free ads online, for example, to get people to call you? Can you put signs out to get people to call you? You can drop postcards. You can get the post office to drop flyers in their mailbox. I mean, there's a pretty good long list. In fact, do you have a sign on your car? If not, why not? Do you want people to know you're in real estate business or not? Now, if you're ashamed of it, then don't tell anybody, and you won't get any deals. Okay, let the world know you're a real estate investor. How much is it going to cost to get magnetic signs to put on the side of your car? You got to get the word out, and then they will come. Keep it a secret, and they won't come. But again, I'd rather pay a company to generate leads for me, and then I just pay them for the leads. Plus, I know what I'm getting, all right, before I invest money. But there's all kinds of ways. And again, call on my office and tell them I said to give you a good deal on that. Of course, I don't even know what it sells for right now, to be honest. But it's hot off the press. I just taped the second one month before last.
Yep, that's right. Brand new.
And if you get it, tell them I said to give you 100 gold club. Let you use 100 gold club points.
That's right. I heard it from Ron. Ron himself.
And if they give you any crap, tell Matt.
Sounds about right. All right. Moving on to the next question. We have Cynthia, who's out in Texas.
Okay,
Cynthia says, I live in Texas, so how can I do an owner finance if it belongs to someone else?
I don't understand what that question means. Okay. You live in Texas. That's great. How do you deal with owner financing? Just like you do any other state. And they all belong to someone else until you buy them. So what am I missing here?
Yep, I think that was it right there, Ron.
There's just another case you need to get to my quick start school. I can tell you that because it's clear to me that you haven't been. Just for the record, I think I got Texas on the schedule here for the next year, don't I? Huh?
For 2024?
Yeah, for 2024. Let me look. Yeah, I got Vegas in February. And yeah, I'm doing Dallas in July.
There we go.
So far, don't count on that. That might change. We're going to publish a new one pretty soon.
All right. Our next question's from Mike, who's with us in Florida.
Okay, Mike.
Mike says, how do you figure out the ARV? Any rules of thumb for figuring out what the cost of fixing a house is in Florida?
Let me answer the second one first. There's a formula. There's a formula for buying an ugly house, but part of that formula is you need to know a general idea what the repair cost in order to get to your maximum allowable offer, in order to get to what you're going to pay. All right, but there is no formula for repairs. In my boot camp manual and in my course I sent that comes along, the wholesaling and the rehabbing course had the formula in it. The formula is the ARV times 70% minus repairs equals Mayo, but we never come close to buying Mayo's maximum allowable offer. We don't come close to that. So you need to get the training before you go firing out offers for all cash. So the repairs, there's no way you can put a percentage on it. There's no way you can put a formula on it because it varies with every single house. So there is a way to estimate the repairs, and we do that by just making a list. We got a list that we give you of the major components and what they will cost based on my model house, and then a list of the miscellaneous, which is another one number we add to the other majors to get the total cost of repairing the house. In fact, you'll see us doing that on a live video in the Quick Start School, but I also give you that formula in the I'm pretty sure it's in both the wholesaling and the rehabbing course. In other words, when you get the terms course, nowadays is on, we have a webinar on the terms course. Go to ronlegrand.com/terms. And when you get the terms course, you'll get the wholesaling course and the retailing course for free. And it's $897.
Yep, that's right. It's a great deal.
Yeah, both of those 3 courses sold for $1,997 for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, before you ask, I update them regularly.
We just
In fact,
updated the terms course, actually.
I just retaped the terms course and the wholesaling course this year.
Mm-hmm. Again, brand new. Get them hot off the press.
Okay.
All right, Ron, we come to our last question of the day, and it's from Lisa. She does not give her state, but Lisa says, how do you get approved from the mortgage company to take over the loan?
You don't, Lisa. We don't get to the boot camp. We don't even tell the mortgage company we're taking over the loan. They don't need to know. I don't care what they do anyway. Most they can do is call the loan due, and they're not going to do that because that's the last thing they want. They'd rather have COVID than have to call a loan due, as long as somebody's making the payments on it, which will be, of course, if we take it over. So we do not contact the bank. That's a good way to kill a deal and make a mess right there. And I can tell you, when people make, investors, all of our problems are self-inflicted because of what comes out of our mouth and the stupid stuff we do, and that would be pretty high on that list. We don't need to contact the bank or take over the loan. And if we do, the attorney will do it. And that's only to find out what the balance is. And you can usually find that out right on the paperwork you get from the seller, along with a breakdown of the payment, how much of it's principal, interest, tax, and insurance. So what I need the bank for, I don't need their permission to do anything. I don't send them any letters. We just send them a payment when we're supposed to send it. Now, of course, that loan number better be on the bottom of that check, or your payment's going into lost payment hell somewhere. Never to be heard from again.
All right, Ron. I think that's all we have for today.
That's it. Okay. Well,
That's
this was a short term today, but had some pretty tough questions on it, didn't it?
Yeah, some good answers though.
I'll see you all next week. And by the way, if you're a master or in our mentoring program and you haven't registered for our retreat, Lev, you are running out of time. This thing starts on October the 3rd. It's in St. Augustine. You better get a hold of our office right now. And if you're a full pay master, it's free, and you can bring a guest. And we got some really cool stuff planned for you there, and got some gifts planned for you. We're going to feed you, and we're graduating over 25 masters, cap and gown, at this thing. And it's in the oldest city in the country. If you haven't ever been to St. Augustine, prepare a little extra time and stay and see this place. It's a pretty nice place to visit. And by the way, about the first week of October, it will be perfect weather down here. I guarantee it.
Right.
Guaranteed. All right. So check on that. And we're going to be doing a boot camp here in Jacksonville live in October and another one in November. And we're going to get next year's schedule out here pretty shortly. So there are no more virtual boot camps for the rest of this year. And in fact, we'll be changing that as well going forward. Better shut up. I'll update you when I know what I'm talking about. All right. See you next week.